Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone, it's Zainab. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to share this with you. I got a new book. It's called Shi'ism, A Religion in Protest by Hamid Dabashi. And today I'm just going to read you the prelude. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Shi'ism is a festive gathering, a festival, a feast, a constellation of moral manners, a commitment, a conviction, a mobile memory. The centerpiece of it, the iconic unsheathing of a dagger, for real, for sure, always half drawn from its worn-out sheath. Always ready to change its own metaphors, Shi'ism is also a raised lantern of hope in desperation, a green flag, a red marker of martyrdom, sacrifice, renewal, resurrection. Shi'ism is the shimmering memory of an event, a dream, a single traumatic incident, condemned forever to try and remember itself, in vain. Shi'ism is the doomed damnation of thinking one has seen and had a vision, and then trying for a lifetime, a history, the span of a cosmic universe to remember it, to realize it, all in futility. Shi'ism is the Islamic version of the myth of Sisyphus, condemned to roll the fiction of its own reality up the hill against the grain of history, then watch it hopelessly roll down to the ground zero of its cyclical desperation for salvation. Shi'ism is crimson in color for its ritual remembrance of the cold-blooded murder of the Prophet's grandson, Hussein ibn Ali, alayhi salam, green in its memory of the providential assurances that all will one day be well, the mayhem of the world be damned, white, full of blank determination to wear the shroud of shahadat, to bear witness with your life just before descending to death, into nullity, non-entity, just before rising up again to be a witness, to bear witness again, thus to account for who and what you are, we ought to be, for what we did right, what we did wrong, whether we are righteous or not. Shi'ism is a blind faith, a reasoned reassurance, a moral mandate, an intellectual tapestry, a way of not resting your case with history, the world. It is the meaningful magic that holds your passing days together, your whispering nights full of saintly silences and replete with suggestive gestures of revolt. Shi'ism is a religion of mothers' hopes, bloodied by fathers' vengeance, paid for by sons and daughters of meaningful death. Shi'ism speaks Persian, prays in Arabic, whispers in Urdu, sings in Turkish, plays in mimetic remembrances of things past, perpetually in search of lost time. Shi'ism is a religion of protest, born and bred on the backbone of combative history, a history gone awry for Shias. A prophet is born, a messenger is sent, the messenger comes and the messenger goes, the divinity reveals itself, a community is dutifully formed, a faith is declared triumphant, and a belief takes shape that does not want to let go of the charismatic memory, the ecstatic moment, the embracing persona of the prophet. So it invests in another man, a good man, a blessed man, a divinely ordained man to lead his community. But history does not concur. The community does not follow. The majority errs. That's what the minority thinks. Shi'ism, in believing that Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam should have succeeded Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, takes what has happened in history as the erring side of reality. The time for the Shi'i is thus always out of joint, and cursed spite that ever they were born to set it right. Shi'ism is a poem, an elegy, a eulogy, an epic, a panegyric pausing for a moment for history to recollect itself and start anew. Shi'ism is Karbala, in a battle that took place on the 10th of October, the year 680, or in the Islamic calendar, the 10th of Muharram, the year 61, Al-Hijrah. The Prophet's grandson, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and 72 of his closest comrades and companions and family members were murdered by the reigning Muslim caliph Yazid ibn Muawiyah. How did that happen? Muslims killing Muslims so early in what is now in Islamic history? And killing whom? The Prophet's own flesh and blood? Predicated on that tragedy, Shi'ism is the summoned metaphysics of sustainable belief, a suspension of doubt, absolute and final surrender to one overarching truth in peace. As the letter of the law dictates and the matters of metaphysics prevail, Shi'ism is the undying belief in the absolute unity and the absolute otherness of one Almighty God, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, merciful, compassionate, forgiving. This God, for the Shias, has an essence that countless attributes. One of his attributes is wisdom, another justice. Shi'is believe that this almighty providence, in his infinite wisdom and justice, has sent periodic emissaries from Adam through Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Jesus ﷺ, down to the last and most noble of them all, their seal, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, so that mankind can be led to the right path. And yet, the death of the last prophet, Shias believe, left the prophetic seal vacant. Thus, with his cousin and son-in-law, Ali ibn Abi Talib ﷺ, began the cycle of 12, or 5, or 7, according to other Shias, infallible Imams, or leaders, who have brought the prophetic cycle to a culminating conclusion. These Imams are in possession of the true meaning of the Quran, having learned it chest to chest, from one heart to another, from the Prophet Muhammad himself, ﷺ. Justice and an equally abiding belief in bodily resurrection in the final day of judgment are as definitive to Shi'i doctrinal beliefs as are the belief in the absolute unity of God and belief in his divine providence to send his emissaries to guide people to do the right things, and the fact that these prophets have in turn left behind infallible interpreters of their revelations. Vindictive, Shi'ism is revolt. From Imam Hussein in Karbala to Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran to Muqtada al-Sadr in Iraq to Hassan Nasrallah in Lebanon. Shi'ism is to say no. Where it thrives, Shi'ism is a majority with a minority complex. It is not just that Shi'ism is political. Politics is Shi'i in its quintessence. If the German sociologist of the Weimar era, Max Weber, defined politics in terms of legitimate violence, Shi'ism sublates violence from the domain of politics into the site of the metaphysics, for Shi'ism was born when its very first Imam, Ali ibn Abi Talib ﷺ, was murdered by an assassin, and when Ali's son, the Prophet's grandson, the supreme heroic figure of Shi'ism, Imam Hussein ibn Ali ﷺ, and his companions were massacred in Karbala. Violence breeds violence, and a persecuted minority thus formed sublates its received and perceived violence into the burning fuel of its ethics and politics, aesthetics and metaphysics. Something of that violence is written in the rectangular precision with which Shi'i designers and architects cut and paste the most exquisite tapestry of colors and designs on the mosaics at the top of the cupola covering the sanctity of their saints and martyrs. Shi'ism, in the end, is a paradox. It thrives and is triumphant when it is combative and wages an uphill battle. It loses its moral authority and defiant voice in the instant it succeeds and is in power. It is, paradoxically, only in power when it is not in power. When it is in power, it lacks legitimacy, authority, and audacity. So that is the prelude of this book. So I'm really excited to read it. So I hope you will join me starting tomorrow, inshallah. And I'll read a little bit of this book every day to you, inshallah. So until then, stay blessed and stay tuned.